Hello students. Today we're going to work with GeoGebra, learning how to construct the three different types of triangles, the equilateral triangle, the isosceles triangle, and the scalene triangle. And a quick review of what each one is right here. The equilateral triangle has all equal side measurements and all equal angles. And the angles are always 60 degrees in an equilateral triangle, because the total in a triangle, total degrees, is always 180. The isosceles triangle has two equal sides. So two of the legs of the legs of the triangle are equal, and the two angles of the base are also equal. So equilateral, all three, equal sides, equal angles. Isosceles, two equal sides, two equal angles. And then scalene triangle, no side lengths are the same and no angles are the same. Moving over to GeoGebra, when you're looking at the basic tools, if you wanted to just construct a triangle, you would click on Polygon, and we would make three vertices. So you just do 3 points, and you have to go back to your original point. So you have to hit it 4 times actually, and that's how you can create just a regular triangle. And then when you want to, if you want to find the lengths of the sides or measure your angles, you hit the More button, and you can come down here to measure, and there's a way you can measure the angles and measure the distance or lengths of the sides. But what we're going to do right now is focus on constructing an equilateral triangle. So I just hit the undo button. So the first step in our construction is to create 2 points, point A and point B. And then we are going to pick circle with center. We're going to make 2 circles, and A and B are going to be the center of both of the circles. So click the tool Circle with Center, and you click A first, and we're going to have the circle of A going through point B. Next, another circle with center B passing through point A. And I can pick the Move tool to adjust the sizes of the circles or move the circles. If you click on the points, that will actually adjust the size. If you click on the outside, it just moves them around. And these 2 points are actually going to be 2 of the vertices of our equilateral triangle. As for the third vertex, we can choose either intersection of the 2 circles. So we can choose either this one or this one. So I will choose the point tool and put another point on the intersection of the 2 circles, and then I will choose Polygon to create my triangle with all my vertices. So you start with point A, CB, or ABC, whichever way you go is fine, as long as you end on the same point that you started with, so you can close out your... So how do we really know if we made an equilateral triangle? With the tools, we can find a way to measure the angles and the lengths of the sides. And if we choose More and we go to the Measure button, we start with our angles. If you click inside the polygon, the triangle, it will measure the angles for you, and you can see they're all 60. And this one's kind of hard to see, so you can go back to the Move tool, and if you want, you can move these out of the way so you can see better. And also, if you wanted to see what happens if you change the size of your triangle, The size doesn't change the fact that all of the angles are the same. We can also measure the lengths or the distance of each of the sides. So if you click on distance or length and click on a line segment, it'll show you the length of one side, the length of another side, and the length of the third side. And they are all the same. So equal sides, equal angles make this an equilateral triangle. Next, we are going to construct an isosceles triangle where we are also using a circle again. So we're going to choose circle with center, and we click in our area and a point A comes, and then we just move your cursor out, and I'm clicking another point on the circle. We're not using two circles for this one. And then what I'm going to do is make a line segment between A and B. So choose segment and then choose point A to point B. And then I'm going to add a third point on my circle, which is going to be my point C. And I'm going to choose segment and connect A and C. And then B and C. And because the very center of my circle, which is A, is connected to both C and B, which are on the outsides of the circle, I know that the distance between the center of the circle and the outside of the circle is going to be the same no matter where any circle is, or any point is on the circle. So I know that A and C and A and B are going to be congruent. And you can also check if you want to measure, like we did with our equilateral triangle. You can measure your angles, and you can measure the distance of the lengths of the sides to make sure. But also knowing that we are coming from the center of a circle to the end points on the outside of a circle, it will be the same distance for both. And the last thing that we might want to do is get rid of our circle and just focus on the triangle. So if you right click on the circle and go to settings and uncheck show object, it takes away your circle. And now we are left with our isosceles triangle. And if I wanted to move any part of my triangle, I know that if I moved point A, that AC and AB will still be equal. If I wanted to move point B or point C, the distance between my A and C and my A and B would still be equal. And just to show you, that's 7.6 and that is 7.6. So the lengths might be longer when I move a part of my triangle, but they will not ever not be the same length. Another thing we can do with an isosceles triangle is find our height of the triangle, and we do that by measuring the distance between the base and the tip of our triangle by using a perpendicular bisector tool. So we select that, and we are going to bisect our triangle by selecting 2 points or one line segment. So I'm actually going to just choose this line segment, and it's going to bisect my triangle, which means divide it into 2 spots. Then I'm going to create a new point and put it right in the intersection of those. And then to measure the height, we are going to go to the measure tool, distance or length, click on that, And I'm going to select 2 points because I don't want this entire line to be measured. So the point A and point D, I'm going to measure, and the height of this triangle is 4.9. And last, we are going to construct a scaling triangle. So on your basic tools, choose polygon, and we're going to create just 3 points. And there's our triangle, and we can measure and make sure that all the sides and all the angles are not the same. So you just click on the angle tool and it tells you the angle of A. If I want the angle of C, I'm going to start with A, then C, and then do B. And then if I want B, I start with CBA, or I can go ABC. And they're all different, which means if the angles are different, the sides are going to be different.